do this thing, man.
Yeah, appreciate you. And I love how this came together just organically. And really that's, our goal is to get, at this stage of Proventus, is get feedback, help athletes be at their best, and work with guys like you that take their craft seriously. I know it's 24/7, 365, any incremental advantage, just getting to know you, I've found, and that's, we get a lot of requests, I would say, from agents now and NIL and just influencers, and we want true ambassadors, that are going to use the product, give us feedback, and can help you, be at your best. So
of course. No, I'm excited to be a part of it. I could tell when we first connected, just being on the phone, there was a mutual respect and interest there to work together, because I think we're both at this stage where we want partnerships, not just somebody that's going to go out and post this or that and promotion, but instead somebody that's going to believe in the product, use the product, and engage with the product, and find value in the product. And obviously, you came highly recommended, and the product came highly recommended. And then once I got to actually use it and experience it, I was impressed a whole nother level. So it's been awesome being able to have one, a unit myself, and just be able to maximize all that time in between. Obviously, you get, people see what we do on a court and what goes into that, but then to have one at home and just have the downtime be maximized as well has been a difference maker for sure.
Appreciate that. And tell me a little more. We'll jump right into that, and I have so many questions, mostly basketball related.
No, happy to answer them.
I'm just curious about that. But in terms of Proventus, how do you use it? What do you see the benefit in? Kind of what was your experience with other similar technologies?
Yeah, so I had always been familiar with other sort of modalities in the space, other tech. There was nothing that I had fully implemented into my routine. More of it was on a basis of if I had a setback or an injury, then I would use it accordingly. Proventus, I've more so implemented into my routine because of the duality of the technology, the fact that it can be hot and cold and can alternate between the two. Where I've really found the most use is similar to this, like sitting on the couch, end of a day, getting done with training camp, practice, a game before I go to sleep. One thing for me, when I finish games, I can't just go to bed. I'm always up for a while. So to find a little moment to maximize that time and get a head start on my recovery, so my recovery doesn't just start the next day when I go to the facility and see a PT. So really being able to maximize all those little windows has been a big difference maker, and Proventus has been a big part of that.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, because I've found even the most committed athletes, it's really hard to do active recovery on your own.
Yeah.
And passive recovery, because you need downtime. Rest is probably the most important thing. I think sleep's probably the most important thing in terms of recovery. So that's where we found, in terms of our feedback, just the ease of use. Press start therapy, you got it dialed in. We can treat any body part, as you see here. You got the knee, the ankle. We're starting to work with a lot of NBA guys, and you guys tend to be taller. I asked you before we started talking, did you get taller?
Yeah.
So back, knees, ankles is kind of like everyone we talk to, and I'm glad you mentioned kind of the acute injury and when you're actually dealing with something to like just functional everyday recovery, because obviously, Proventus is great. We treat guys, knock on wood, that have full-blown injuries, right? ACLs, rotator cuffs, and it's fantastic for, post-operative, but, all the way to acute, a lot of high ankle sprains in basketball. But for the most part, it's just like that soreness, those contusions that are just nagging, the tightness, that we've seen make the biggest difference.
Yeah, well, I know those all too well. When you go through the course of an 82-game season, all sorts of things pop up, and you don't have the luxury to sit out. You're expected to perform and do it night
it's the
to
best
night.
availability. The best ability
is availability,
yes.
100%. And that's something I've really tried to pride myself on throughout my career, is being available, couple years ago, I had a back issue that was really challenging because we couldn't quite figure out what it was. And we basically just got to the point where it's just going to require management. And this is where a device like this just really separates itself, because for a back, for example, a lot of that is you want to get those muscles in the area active and moving. So to be able to do heat on the front end with compression and get that area primed to compete and play has been a big difference maker. And as a result, like it hasn't kept me out, once again, knock on wood. But that's been a huge luxury to have, for sure.
Awesome. For what year is this in the NBA for you?
I'm going into my 8th season.
Season.
Yeah, I got a little bit of a late start. I did 5 years of high school, 5 years of college, call it the 10-year plan. So I'm 31, so I'm on the older end already, especially with how young the league is trending. So that's why in the last 3 or 4 years, I've really tried to focus in on how can I maximize what capacity I have in my body. And that's where stuff like this really comes into play.
Talk a little bit about how that's changed from now being 31. It's crazy to me in your profession that's considered old. To where you're younger. Like, I'm sure you don't bounce back as quickly. And
it's when you're younger, you don't expect that it's going to come as fast as it does, but Father Time is undefeated, and you quickly learn that if you're not going to be proactive and stay on top of your recovery, taking all the necessary steps, modalities, exercises, weight room's a huge part of it, and rest is a huge part of it, then you're just not going to be able to last. And I had a shift because I came into the NBA a little bit older. I think I had a pretty good perspective on it, but I got to see veterans really show me the way. I had some really good vets in Miami, guys that had played a long time. Guys like Udonis Haslem. When I was first came to Miami, Dwayne Wade was there. And to see the ratio of amount of time spent on his body in preparation relative to on the court, it really just blew my mind in terms of this is what it requires to do this at a high level for a long time. So at that point, I stuck my toe in the water of starting to figure out, okay, what's a good routine for me? And then since then, it's grown, adapted, and changed based off of what's best for me.
Yeah, well, that's a good segue. So only your second team in the NBA. I'm a huge Pistons fan. I grew up outside of Detroit, so a lot of high hopes here. And so talk to me a little bit about being a veteran, your leadership style, coming into a brand new team, obviously that's had success, that has high expectations.
Yeah, it's been a breath of fresh air, man. It's a super ambitious young group, and for me,
very young, right?
Yeah. At this stage of my career, like, it's just been really refreshing to be around these guys. I mean, we're heading into training camp now.
Tuesday, right?
Tuesday, yeah. Wow. About a week out, and the goals and expectations are high, and that comes from internally first. I think we all know what we're capable of as a group. For myself, to be able to come in with the perspective that I've had, things that I've learned, been a part of championship runs. My hope and goal is to really, be a leadership presence for these younger guys, be a sounding board, have my voice be heard. I'm not the most loud, boisterous guy when it comes to leadership, but I'm never shy of sharing my opinion. So I sort of kind of walk that line between putting my arm around someone and having a conversation, and also finding little moments to speak up. So I'm excited for it. It's going to be a great opportunity.
Awesome. Well, I mean, it's noted the culture of the Miami Heat as well. Heat culture. Juwan Howard was actually my neighbor when he was here in Ann Arbor for a bit, and just admire the way the Heat go about their business. And so I'm sure you're going to take some of that,
for
hopefully here, and just be additive to what the Pistons are trying to do.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, I'm super grateful for my time in Miami. I learned a lot about what it meant to compete, prepare to win at this level, and not just about going out and scoring or this, that, or whatever, but instead like impacting winning. And that's really what that organization was all about. And I see a lot of those same common threads here in Detroit since I've been here. At the end of the day, it's about, what can this group accomplish? And winning is the rising tide that raises all boats. If you want your personal accolades, if you want to be an all-star, get paid, whatever it is, we all have our own pursuits. winning is what gets you there, being a part of good teams. So I'm excited to bring that. A lot of these guys have it naturally, you know, and for me to be in that environment and try to bring it out of them and, you know, just bring who I am to the table as well. It should be fun.
Love it. All right, last point of interest for me, Michigan basketball.
Yeah.
We're obviously in Ann Arbor. That's where we're headquartered, Proventus. We fortunate to do a lot with Michigan athletics.
Of course.
I've got to know Dusty really well from day one. So impressive. Obviously, they put together a squad this year. How often are you in touch with them? Kind of, I'm sure it's, you know, at arm's length in terms of seeing what they're doing. But now that you're
now that I'm here, I'm definitely going to be coming to games, checking them out. I've actually known Dusty for a while. When I was down in Miami, we would do training camp at FAU a lot. Probably did it 2 times that he was there. So got to know him, and then his actually son works for the Heat as well. So Jack's a good friend of mine, someone who's helped me out a lot in my career. So Dusty and I have been in constant contact since I've been back in Michigan, and I just want to find a way to help the program. You know, I'm a proud alum of the program. I want to see you know, them achieve that ultimate goal of raising that trophy on Monday night. So I'm here to help. I'm here to support. It's going to be fun, you know, just being in the gym with those guys some, and the sky's the limit. I mean, they could be as good as anyone in the country, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, just to close this up, so admiring of your career, and you know, look, I follow sports closely, and to see where you've come from to what you've accomplished is incredible. And I know a lot of hard work has gone into it, and it's just great to see. And full circle. When we started first talking, obviously you were with Miami, and
that's right.
We actually hooked up in South Beach. I was down there with my wife, and you know, that's a phenomenal place. But I think you're, you know, I know you had the college experience in Michigan we talked about, but Metro Detroit is a phenomenal place. I think Michigan's the most underrated state in the country.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm excited to be back. It feels like a homecoming of sorts. And I'm just, to your point about my journey, I'm just grateful for all the different experiences that I've had, and I've got to meet a lot of really cool people, and you know, above all, I really cherish a lot of those relationships. So it's great to be back in Michigan, where I know so many people here, and get to sort of lean into those relationships.
Yeah.
So
all right, and then I do have one. We got to get out and play golf.
Yeah, for sure.
You caught the golf.
That's a
I found basketball guys, even though you're so tall, like the hand-eye, I don't know what it is. Basketball players are good at golf.
Generally speaking, you should see some of my teammates try to play golf.
Well, guys that play.
I know. I think there's something there with like skill acquisition around shooting versus a golf swing, like trying to recreate a repeatable motion.
Yeah.
You know, if you can do the same thing over and over in shooting, you're going to be successful, and the same things with golf. I've really put a lot of time into it over the last 3 or 4 years. I was pretty inconsistent for a while, and then I just kind of had a turning point. So now I'm like, you know, the bug doesn't stop. It just stays.
It grows.
So
that's
a
a tough.
That's a fact.
You're either in or you're out.
100%. I'm in right now. I'm all the way in.
I love it. You're going to the Ryder Cup.
I am.
All right, USA. Let's
yeah,
go.
Let's go.
I'm nervous,
Big
actually.
Weekend. I know it's gonna be
because
tough.
they're heavy favorites. They're at home.
I know. There's a lot of chatter about this being the year, but I hope they can quiet that noise and just go out and perform. So I'm excited.
Awesome, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks
thank
so
you.
much. That was great.